thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you for wanting to talk to me.
Could you introduce yourself and tell us why you're here?
Okay, my name is Erica Schultz. I am the writer and co-creator of M3, which is this. It is a crime thriller based on, it's about an assassin and the FBI agent tracking her down.
Okay.
So I wrote that with the amazing artist Vicente Alcazar. So I'm hawking my wares doing that. I also have a great book that we only have one left of. It is called the Unauthorized Biography of Winston Churchill, a documentary. And that was done by the fabulous artist Claire Connolly. And it's about Winston Churchill finding a time machine in 1942 London.
So it's completely accurate to history.
100% historically accurate. And the other book that I have is, it's based on the television series Revenge on ABC.
Okay.
M3 was actually what got me the gig. I had given a copy of M3 to a Marvel editor just as kind of like a portfolio piece.
Okay.
And about a year later, I was called to do the ABC Marvel Revenge book.
Awesome.
So the system works when you work the system.
Now, and I want to chat with you because most of the writers and artists here are male. A good portion of them are white males. What's it like working through a system that is where you are not the majority?
Well, it's frustrating at times. I'm very, very lucky that my husband happens to be a very pro-feminist dude. His mom is do not mess with my mother-in-law, oh my God, kind of thing. And he was raised by a very strong woman and raised to respect women and wanting, this is my dream, this is what I want to do, all right, let's make this happen. There are a lot of people in the industry, just people who are passive in the industry, pros in the industry, as well as fans that want to keep the status quo, which is basically a white male perspective, and I think that's wrong. I think that only having one perspective is wrong. I think you need people of color, you need people of different nationalities, you need more trans people, you need more LGBT books, you need more... Shut it, R2. You need more books from different perspectives. Now, that's not to say that a white male can't write. Greg Pak is doing an amazing job on Storm.
Yeah.
And I love the book, and I love Greg, and he's a fantastic, fantastic creator. That's not saying that a white male can't do a good job with a black female. But what it's saying is there's a particular perspective that somebody is going to bring to the table simply based on life experience.
Right.
And if you've never experienced what it's like to be a black female, then there's going to be something lacking.
Yeah.
And that's just that's just the way I feel, and some people think it's wrong, some people think it's right, some people think it's ignorant, whatever. It's just, I can only say how I feel about it.
And there's strides being made.
Yes.
But, well, in my opinion, not enough yet.
No, not nearly.
Has there been anybody that inspired you from the past of comics or entertainment that made you stop and say, this is what I want to do?
I grew up reading two white males. I grew up reading Claremont and Byrne. And Chris Claremont was known for writing very strong female characters. He took Jean Grey, basically, there she is, in the little purple dress. There he is. Oh, he's not Mal. I'm sorry, I messed up. I think he's a hobbit. I don't know who he is. Anyway, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
I grew up reading white males, and because that's pretty much what the industry had for a very long time.
Right.
And Claremont did a great job with Jean Grey and sort of pulling her from the wallflower and turning her into this powerhouse. But there's nobody in particular that said, you can do this, Erica. There was no Rosie the Riveter for me, really. It was, I just really love telling stories.
Okay.
And it's a medium that I really love, so I wanted to do it. I did meet Kelly Sue DeConnick about a year ago, I think, at New York Comic Con.
Okay.
And I gave her a copy of M3, and she was immensely just inspiring simply because she's doing it. I want to write all kinds of comics, superhero comics as well, and she's doing it, and she's writing all kinds of comics. She's got Pretty Deadly, she's got Ghost, she's got Captain Marvel and stuff. So she was just like, "You're doing it, just keep doing it," like that kind of attitude. So it wasn't like she pushed me; it was just she validated. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. She validated me,
And that validation through peers can go great lengths.
yeah.
Now, obviously, there's been a lot of missteps in the past, but do you think any of the female characters were some of the good groundwork for what we're having today? Or do you think it's just all didn't do well?
No, I think, like I said, I really enjoyed Claremont's work on X-Men. I really enjoyed what he did with Jean Grey, because I do love Jean Grey. Rogue's my favorite character, but I do love Jean Grey. And I like what he did with her, and I like how he brought her out of this, like, "Oh, Scott, I'm just going to sit in the corner, and I don't know what to do," kind of thing, and brought her to become a very true and active member of the team. I think that there are a lot of people that have done a lot of great things. I mean, X-23 was a character that was invented for the X-Men Evolution TV series, and she had Marjorie Liu was doing a series with her. It didn't last, but Marjorie Liu got to do a series with her as a lead character. And if you read All New X-Men, she's actually a big part of that now too. Harley Quinn, another character that was just created for a cartoon. Now, I mean, Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor are doing amazing things with her too. There has been missteps. There will always be missteps.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to whitewash or whatever wash like all the female characters in the past. There have been plenty of female characters that have come up that have been really well written. I mean, if you look at Vampirella, obviously she was written a particular way, but at the same time, now they did a miniseries called Southern Gothic, where she's pretty much covered up, and it's more of a mystery series, and it was really interesting. Look at Elektra.
Yeah.
I mean, you put Elektra in some people's hands, and they're like, whatever. You put Elektra in Bill Sienkiewicz's hands. That's all I got to say. You don't even say anything. It's that awesome, kind of thing.
It's nice to see the movement of women in comics becoming less of the linchpin for having the males do things. Like they're the like when Lois Lane was, the damsel in distress.
She has a Pulitzer, doesn't she? She should be smart enough to know not to lean up against the glass.
Exactly. But it's nice to see a movement away from that in some respects. I mean, there's still people who use those as tools to further the story, but to be able to have a story of their own and shine.
You know who's got a new book out, which I think is really great, and it's a very strong character. I believe it's Top Cow. They have a book called Genius, and Afua Richardson is the artist on it.
Okay.
And she's like very strong character who's like, I will kick anybody's ass kind of thing, and it's awesome, and getting more, and she happens to be a black artist, so it's not just women in comics, it's people of color in comics too, and women of color in comics. Like how many women in comics can you say are LGBT or are black, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, not your typical like white person in comics? How many people can you say that about?
It's sadly far too few.
Exactly, it is. And there's another great LGBT comic called Flutter by Jenny Wood, and they're with 215 Inc. So they are out there. We're here. We're just not in the forefront yet. And little by little, it's great that Afua's got the work with Top Cow, because Top Cow's a major publisher, and really get her name out. So it's little by little, more people have to recognize. And you come to shows, and you see everybody's in Artist Alley. It's great to go and see the Claremonts and Greg Capullo and things like that. These are amazingly talented people. But come to Artist Alley and talk to people that you might not know.
Exactly.
That might have a book that you've never seen or never heard of. And see what they're all about. It'll really just open your mind to different creators out there.
And going to these cons, the nice thing is you see the people, the guests, not the people who are a part of the con, but the people just coming to the con, and it's so diverse.
Yes.
It's so amazing, all ages, everything.
I saw a really cute kid who was Ant-Man, and his dad made him this dope helmet, and he was a little black kid, and he's like, "That's the coolest Ant-Man, man." And I was like, "Dad, did you make that?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That is an awesome helmet."
It's really encouraging. I enjoy. This is my first comic book convention. I went to an anime one a couple times.
Okay.
But it's encouraging to see who is here.
Well, I think anime is different because anime has got automatically its audience is way different. Like you go to an anime con and it is such a diverse audience.
Yeah.
You've got everybody there, and that's great. I want to see that diverse audience here. I want to see it towards more. It's really weird. It's going to sound weird, and please, don't think wrong of me, but I want to see it more geared towards what I would consider a Western book. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay, it's because anime is Japanese. It's a cultural thing as well. So to be part of something that's more mainstream, more Marvel, DC. I hate the word mainstream. That's why. But to see a more diverse crowd as well as more diverse creators in mainstream.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
And it would be nice. This is encouraging to see. This is something that's really close to my heart. I want to see more diversity, and
so write a comic, man.
I actually write novels.
Well, there you go.
Trying. So, and personally, I do that. I wrote a fantasy novel that I'm trying to publish right now.
That's fantastic.
And there's like 2 white dudes in it, and the rest are all women. And
when I wrote M3, in the last issue of M3, we're introduced to a character named Otto.
Okay.
And Otto is literally in one panel in issue 1, and then in issue 6, you learn more about him. When I originally wrote him as a black character.
Okay.
And when I got the artwork back from Vicente, he had drawn a black character in that scene, but he didn't make the black character the focus of the scene.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, damn it, but we're on deadline, so I can't do anything. You know what? For the second arc, we're going to do something. We meet Otto's mom, and Otto's mom is black.
Okay.
And Otto's a white dude. And I have this whole conversation about what a family is. And Otto's mother, named Josephine, makes a comment, says, "You think we didn't get looks like a black couple with a white kid? Doesn't matter. That's our kid. This is our family." And, some people will be like, that's kind of weird, just having like a black couple being the parents of this white kid. But no, that is a family, and there are families everywhere, all different kinds. So why shouldn't comics reflect that?
Exactly.
Why shouldn't comic books reflect that? 2 moms and a kid, or 2 dads and a kid, I want to say that there was a comic like, 2 dads and a baby kind of thing, something like that. Or
right.
if there isn't, there should be.
There should be.
Jenny would write that next one. Finish Flutter and then write that.
All right. Well, thank you for talking.
I'm sorry,
with
I'm
us.
taking all your time.
No, not at all. This is a wonderful conversation. And hopefully one day, even though you didn't have a strong model to say, this made me want to do it.
There are plenty of women out there, but I wanted to do it because I wanted to do it. I didn't pick up a book and say, this is what I want to do.
Well, I'm just hoping maybe one day somebody will pick up your book and be inspired.
Oh God, I hope not. I'm Charles Barkley. I'm not a role model. That scares me, but thank you so much. And congratulations on your novel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank.
Have a great...
Thank you, Liz, and I didn't catch her name.
Lindsay.
Lindsay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Lindsay.